Welcome or welcome back to my podcast, The Free Range Crafter. My name is Charlotte, and it's been a little while since I filmed my last podcast. Lots of things have happened in the last few months that made me not so excited to film. Some family things. Unfortunately, my dad was in hospital for a bit. And some things like that, and now he's better now, but anyway, yeah. And you may notice that the background is different. That is because we have moved. If you're new here, then you will not know, but me and my boyfriend, we lived in a camping car for the last 5 years, and we would spend the winters in Sardinia. So that's where we were, and recently my boyfriend got a job in France, which is where he's from, and we have moved back to France, and we have an apartment. So, so he's now basically, we're living near Toulon, in the south of France, in Provence, and it is a hamlet that is privately owned, which is from the 12th century and has been converted into a place for weddings, and it has like a hotel and a ganget, which is like a little place by the river where there's a restaurant and you can have parties and things like that, and it's an enormous place, and we're the only people living on here. My boyfriend is going to be the gardener for the fruit and vegetables and things like that will be grown here. So it's sort of trying to be a bit self-sufficient. We're off-grid with water and things like that, and yeah, it's a very beautiful place, and we have this apartment. It's our first time living not in the van for a long time, and so yeah, it's exciting. Have a big bed now instead of a small camping car bed, and so yeah, I haven't figured out my background yet, so this is just for now, and I'm not sure if I will probably move around and figure out a background that I like. Okay, so I have a tea here in one of my beautiful bowls that I bought in France. It's a handmade pottery bowl. I have a little bit of an obsession with handmade pottery. I'm addicted. I love it. This one is from the village where my boyfriend is from. And inside I'm drinking it's a herbal tea. It's actually a wild plant from Turkey, from the Antalya region in the mountains. And I got it there quite a few years ago when we were there on holiday, and I love it. It really reminds me of the place, and it's just these little leaves, kind of plant that you steep in hot water, and it's delicious. Okay, so I may not have been recording in the last few months, but I have been knitting, and I have been enjoying knitting. Since the new year I haven't knit so much because I've had other priorities with moving and things, but yeah, the last few months I was knitting, and I've really got on a unspun knitting addiction. I'm completely obsessed with unspun yarn. I love it, and yeah, you'll see a few things knit from unspun yarn in this video. I have quite a few finished objects and some whips, some that you've seen before, maybe some that you haven't. So yeah, let's get started. Here is my pile of finished objects. So let's start from the top. Wait, let's see which one. This one I finished first. Okay, so this I finished first out of the pile of things that I have. Where's the front? This is the Unarmoured COWL by Kat Weaver from Heather and Hops podcast, and it was knit in a Woolly Knits wool, which was a blue face Leicester, and I think I knit it in 4mm needles. It's a super nice, easy knit. It has this cool textured rib kind of pattern that I really like. And yeah, it was very nice to knit. I knit the back a little bit longer. I can't remember if that was in the pattern. And I also opted for the I-cord edges because I just preferred the way it looked. And yeah, I can put a picture of me wearing it here or somewhere. It was, yeah, super nice, and I really like this yarn. I have one more skein of this yarn left, and I think I will probably knit a hat with it or something. It's really soft. It's very soft and very rustic, and even though it's rustic, it's soft. But for me, anyway, I think so. Yeah, I really like it. Nice little warmer. So yeah, I don't think I made any mistakes, which is a bit of a miracle. Number one. Okay, moving on. So this is the Permafrost sweater by Vitra Designs, and I started this quite a long time ago, like maybe in September or October or something, and I ran out of yarn, and then I managed to get, sorry if I keep touching my glasses, I've broken the arm and my boyfriend taped it back together for now, and it's not ideal, so that's why I keep rearranging. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, I ran out of yarn and eventually got some more, and I did like, I'd done like just up to here and eventually got some more, and then I finished up to here, and then I ran out of yarn again for the second time, and I managed to get some more back in November, and then I managed to finish it. So I managed to finish it, and I literally ran out of yarn again here. So it ended up, the pattern is knit from the bottom up, and then you knit the neck and then the sleeves. And so the sleeves are folded as well as the neck is folded, and you do like a one pearl row bump, and then you fold to make it half. But I kind of ran out of length for the other arm, so one sleeve is a little bit shorter than the other, so, well, it would have been like this, so then I unravelled the folded hem. No. I unravelled the folded hem, and so yeah, now I have one folded, one unfolded, and it's a bit, yeah, it's a bit of a shame, but I don't want to buy, because this is done with, I haven't said, this is done with drops boucle, two strands drops boucle, one strand drops alpaca, and I don't want to buy a whole nother skein of alpaca and boucle just for this much of yarn. I don't know, it just seems a bit silly. So yeah, I mean, whatever, I don't care. The sleeve is a bit wonky, it doesn't matter to me, I don't really care. And I still haven't woven in the end from here because I just didn't know whether I would fold it back, whether I'll fold it back and have it too short or open, or yeah, I don't know, I haven't figured it out. But I've been wearing it and I like it. It's extremely warm. I call it my teddy bear jumper because it's so warm and cozy. The only thing is it's very pilly, as you can maybe see, but I'm not sure it matters so much because it's so fluffy anyway that, yeah, I don't know. But I wore it a lot. I was wearing it a lot. Here in the south of France right now, it's extremely cold. And this is very warm. You just have to wear, it's quite cropped, so I need to wear like high jeans or something. But yeah. And this was knit on 6mm needles, I think. I think the pattern suggests 7, but I didn't have 7, so I just did 6. It worked out. I started knitting this back when I was like a bit more, oh, I'll just knit with this needle and it'll probably be fine. Now I'm a bit better at knowing my gauge and stuff like that, but it worked out fine. So yeah, and I really like this the boucle yarn. Like, it's a bit weird to knit with when you start because you can't really see what you're doing, but in the end it doesn't really matter because it's so fluffy that you can't see if you kind of make a little mistake anyway. So yeah, I think I would happily knit this in like a big chunky oversized size, like more like this, which I didn't knit, by the way. This is from a second-hand shop. Yeah, I think it would be nice. So that's the permafrost sweater, and yeah, I really like it. Oh, and I didn't say that basically I bought this yarn originally to make a hat, and I wanted to dye it myself, and then I decided that I was going to make this jumper instead. That's why I didn't have enough yarn in the first place, because hat, jumper, not the same amount of yarn. And then I wanted to dye the jumper with natural dyes, and I tried a few things that didn't really work. Like, I would really like to dye it with acorns, but when I was in Sardinia there weren't any acorns anywhere, so I couldn't dye it with acorns. And then we had I had some walnut shells, which are not the best. Really, you want the hulls, the fleshy part, because that has a lot of tannins inside. And so I tried it with the shell, but it didn't really hold. And then I tried something else, which I don't remember what it was. Oh yeah, true, I made a video about it, I think. Oh no, I didn't. It wasn't that. Oh, I can't remember. But anyway, either way, it didn't work. It's still very white and cream. But I think eventually I will dye it with some kind of brown natural dye, because I would really like it to be brown. Anyway, that is permafrost sweater. I'll just have some of my tea, which is probably cold now. Okay, so next we begin the unspun journey. So the next sweater that I knit, this is something that I discovered. The pattern is something I discovered when I first started knitting a year ago, and I discovered this pattern, and I was like, wow, I need this jumper. I need to knit this. But I knew that I couldn't, because I definitely didn't have the techniques. I didn't know how to do increases or decreases or short rows or colour work or all of that kind of stuff. And so I waited, and I increased my knowledge slowly, doing other projects. And in November or December, I can't remember when I started this. I feel like it was maybe mid-November. I looked at the pattern again, and I actually had this yarn. I bought the yarn for this project back in like April or something, because I knew, as we were living in the camping car, like, it's not easy for me to get things ordered to me. So, and I knew I wanted to knit this. I already bought the pattern. I had the yarn. I was just waiting for my ability to catch up with myself. Anyway, yeah, so the pattern is the Into the Wild sweater by Tanya Bali. Tanya Bailey or Tanya Bali. And this is it, and I love it so much. I love the little foxes, the trees. I just love it. It makes me so happy every time I see it. And this kind of started my little obsession with colour work. So this is knitted in CLOUDBERRY's Unspun. CLOUDBERRY is Unspun, but Unspun yarn by Istex, and there are 4 colours. 1, 2, 3, 4 colours, and at some point it's doing. So it's knit with 1 strand of the CLOUDBERRY, and there's some points where you have to do the 3-stranded colour work. So I had like 3 plates in front of me, like doing the colour work, and I have to say I actually really enjoyed it. I never at one point was stressed about it or worried. I took it slowly, and I was very worried about breakages with the CLOUDBERRY, but I didn't have many. I've sort of been watching many videos of people talking about Unspun often, and the CLOUDBERRY apparently has very long fibers, or the fiber of the fleece is long, which makes it hold together better, as far as I'm aware. I can't remember the name of the sheep, but it's an Icelandic sheep, I think. Gotland. I think it's called a Gotland sheep, and the fleece the fibers in the fleece are long, which makes it very good for the unspun yarn because it doesn't break. It's a little bit scratchy, I guess, for some people. I mean, you can see I think all of those little bits sticking out, that's the Gotland. I think it's Gotland. Gotland fleece. But personally, I don't find it scratchy. I'll wear like a little top underneath it, but around my neck, I don't mind. The only thing, if I had to change something, would be I would make it a little bit bigger. I can't remember. I think I knit the size 1, and everything else I stuck to the pattern. It was 4mm needles, single strand. I did the same colours. I kept everything the same, and it's not specifically tight, but it's not baggy. It's sort of fitted, if that makes sense. But yeah, I love it. I love it so much. It's my favourite jumper that I've ever knitted, I think, and I'm actually very proud of it because I didn't make any mistakes, and I waited a whole year to knit this pattern. So yeah, I love it so much, and I would highly recommend knitting this beautiful pattern. Okay, now I'll put it away. Okay, next. So this jumper, we have a few things to say about it. Okay, so it was supposed to be the Let Lopi jumper by Melody Hoffman, and she recently brought the pattern out in December, I think, and I was looking for something to knit with unspun yarn because I have a load of unspun yarns from, a load, not loads, but a few from, I have the Lopi by Wool Dreamers, and which is beautiful Spanish unspun yarn, and then I have some of the Lopi by Istex, and so I wanted to knit something else in unspun as I enjoyed it so much, and I had 5 skeins of this brown colour, so I thought I would try the Let Lopi jumper by Melody Hoffman, and I knit the whole thing, and basically it's meant to be very oversized jumper with a split hem and lower at the back and shorter at the front. And I knit it big and baggy, and I did the split hem, and I finished it, and I tried it on, and I just didn't like the fit on myself personally. Like, I'm a very short, petite girl, woman, whatever, and it just didn't suit me. Like, it was too, I don't know, it just didn't suit me. I don't know how to describe it, but I think the pattern is beautiful and I really love it, but it just didn't fit me well. And also, I guess I'm not someone that wears brown so much, so maybe that also was a bit confusing as well. Like, I didn't like the colour combination with the fit, and it just didn't work. So what I decided to do was rip back until the seam splits and just decrease a few rounds, well, decrease like 2 rounds, and then do a ribbing. So I did that, and the jumper was perfect. I blocked it. I loved it. I was wearing it, and the other day I put it in the washing machine, and it kind of shrunk and felted a little bit. So here we are. I haven't actually showed you it at all. This is what we're working with right now. It still fits me. Just the sleeves are a little bit short now. It's like a very coming to here kind of sleeve. But I mean, I think the fact that it's not at all what the jumper would have been from the pattern. It's like completely different now. It's not oversized anymore. But now it's felted, I think it will be a very nice winter jumper because there's no holes in the fabric anymore. You know, like you can't see through. It's felted, you know. So yeah, it still fits me. It still fits. It's just not baggy anymore. But I can still wear it, so that's fine. I just know now I've learnt my lesson not to put knitted wool in the washing machine unless it's on a wool wash. I don't know what I was thinking. It was just a moment of need to wash everything, and I just didn't think about it. So yeah, but I think it was a close call because it's okay. It still fits. I'll still wear it. I just think I might wet it, not wash it, but soak it and stretch the sleeves a little bit to try and block it a bit with the sleeves bigger, but the body is fine. And I knit this in, I can't remember the needle size I knit this in. Maybe it was a 4 or 5. I think it was 5mm needles this was knit in, and the yarn is the LOPI by Wool Dreamers, and it's the darkest colour they have, the brown colour. So yeah, it's my little, and the pattern you're supposed to like crochet in these yarn over increases, which I did on the bottom and on the sleeves. Not that you can see it anymore, but I really am bad at crochet. Like, I can't get to grips with it. My hand, like with knitting, it's so like and with crochet, I just feel like there's something wrong with me. Like, I just can't do it. And in here, I managed to do it, but doing the crochet up here with the unspun yarn, and I gave up. I couldn't do it, so I just left it like this. So yeah, I don't really care. So that's my last finished object, my felted little unspun jumper. Okay. Ooh. Okay, so that's all my finished objects. I had to take a little bit of my cold tea. It's definitely cold now. Let's see. So, continuing on the theme of unspun yarn, I had a lot of yarn left over from making my Into the Wild sweater, and when I decided to make the Into the Wild sweater last April or something, when I was buying the yarn, I couldn't decide whether to buy a green for the main colour or brown for the main colour, and so I bought both, and I then would decide later. So I already had like a main colour extra for a body of colour work, and then I had all the colours that I had, so red, black, white, and yeah, that's it. And so I found another pattern that I just fell in love with little sheeps on by the Petite Knitter. I can't remember the name of the pattern, but I will look it up and put it here. But it's by the Petite Knitter, and she does some really beautiful jumpers made with single strand unspun yarn with Plateau LOPI, and yeah, I want to knit them all. But for now, I have knit this one, and I'm almost finished. I just have the last sleeve to go, but it's this little jumper. It's so cute. Oh. Yeah, with the little sheep. I'm just obsessed with this jumper. I love it so much. It's so cute. And it's knit in I think it was supposed to be knit with 3mm needles. But I decided to knit it with 4mm needles because I just a month ago knit the Into the Wild sweater with 4mm needles and one strand of unspun Plateau LOPI. So I knew that I liked the gauge that I was getting from this combination, and I didn't want to knit a whole jumper on 3mm needles. I couldn't be bothered. So here we go. This is it, and it's so cute. I love this neck with the double colour, and then it goes into the yoke, and then you split for the sleeves, and then the body, and the arm. And with the arms, I marginally followed the decreases, but I did like a few decreases, and then I did big decreases here, and then I just did the cuff. I probably could have done the cuff a bit longer, but yeah, I didn't want to, so I stopped. And yeah, so all I have left to do is this sleeve, and then I'm done. And I can't wait to finish it. I'll probably have it finished by the end of the week, I think. Yeah, I'm super obsessed. I can't wait to wear this, and I want to wear it like right now. So excited. And then yeah, with the sleeve, all I have left to do is this colour work here, and my white ended up like this because my dog decided to use it as a chew toy. He's only a year old, so he's still learning. But yeah, he didn't chew any of my yarn in a very long time and decided to do that. So I managed to salvage this much out of it, and I hope that's enough. But yeah, it's a shame. It's a bit of a waste of yarn. If anyone has any ideas of what I can do, please let me know. Otherwise, I guess I'll just have to, I don't know, do something. Yeah, okay, so that is my first whip that is almost finished. And I can't wait to knit more of the Petite Knitter's patterns. She has some very beautiful patterns, some beautiful sock patterns as well, with the same sort of motifs as some of her jumpers. And she just brought out a new pattern with little reindeers on, which is super cute. But you need white, and my white looks like this, so if I want to knit that, I'll have to buy some more. Oh, okay. So next I have something that you've seen before, so I won't talk too much about it. I haven't really done so much more on it, to be honest. For you, it's probably going to look exactly the same if you're returning. But it is, well, what is going on here? It is the Cloudberry Cloudberry Tea by Fibre Tales. I'm knitting it in 2 cones of yarn that I have had for a long time. One is 50% merino, 50% silk, and one is just a wool, UK wool. And I'm knitting it on 3.75mm needles. The only ones that I own have this tiny cable and are not interchangeable, so that's why it's so squished up. And because it's so squished up, I don't think I realised how many stitches I have on the needles, because a while ago I needed the needles, so I swapped it out onto some other needles that had a big cord, and the thing is enormous. So it's going to be like this wide. It's going to be very oversized, which is nice. I just don't know when I'm going to finish it, because it's a lot of just stockinette, and as much as I sometimes like stockinette to just, you know, keep my mind, not my mind, but my hands doing something while I'm watching something, I do get a little bit bored with just stockinette. I do like some kind of pattern or colour work or something that keeps me focused on it. But I will get there. It's not something I want to undo or frog or anything. I do really like this, and I'm excited to finish it at some point. I'm just not stressed to finish it, and there's so many other things that I really want to knit, so. But it's a beautiful, beautiful pattern, and I think I would love to also knit another one in a more summer material other than wool, so maybe like a bamboo or a viscose material, something like that. I think would be really nice. So yeah, that is the Fibre Tales Cloudberry Tea. Okay, so there's yarn everywhere. Last but not least, really quite a few months ago, maybe November, October, end of October maybe? No, November. When did I go back? I don't remember. But quite a long time ago, I decided I really wanted to start knitting socks, and I talked about it in a previous video, I think, about I bought sock yarns and needles and stuff like that, and so I finally cast on a sock ages ago, and this is all I've done. Where am I? I think I'm in the middle of the row. This is all I've done, and I don't know how much I like knitting socks for now. I love this yarn. So the yarn is the what is the yarn? It's a Portuguese yarn. I can't remember the name of the yarn. It's a very, very well-known Portuguese yarn. It's a small company. It's 100% wool. I can't remember the name of the yarn, but I'll put it down here. And they do beautiful, beautiful yarns, and perfect for 100% wool socks. And these are 2.5mm needles that I'm using. And the pattern is, I think it's just the Everyday Sock by Petite Knit, maybe. I think it's that. I can't remember. It's just a very simple rib, then stockinette, and then it's a short row heel, and then I haven't got as far as the toe, so I don't even know what the toe is, but this is as far as I've got. And I've only done one, and I don't know, maybe if this is a common thing or not, that people start knitting socks and then stop, but I don't know, it wasn't inspiring me. Even though I really want to, I want the socks, the knitting is like, it's not, I don't know, it's not inspiring me so much. I would really like to knit some chunkier socks, I think, with a DK weight maybe instead of a thinner weight yarn, but I'm definitely I will get on with these. I will finish them, one at least, at some point. I just have other things I want to knit, and I'm not very good at multitasking, so if I have one thing I'm on, I just want to knit that one thing, and that's it. So yeah, that is my last finished object. That is everything. I don't have any acquisitions. Acquisitions. I mean, actually, technically I do, and I had a lot of acquisitions saved to show from when I came back from London a while ago, but since then it's been so long that I've used some, I've put them away, and I don't have them around anymore. They're in my stash. So I think what I will do is, because I've moved to a new place and I need to tidy out my stash and put it somewhere else, I want to make a video showing my stash and storage and things like that, and then maybe I can show the new stuff that I got when I was back in London. So if you're interested, I can't speak today. So if you're interested in seeing that video, then do let me know in the comments. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed seeing my finished objects, and yeah, I hope to see you all soon, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!